What's going on, RC Sports Talk? We in the building. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, and shit, my hair is working. It's hot as usual, but we on the grind, man. And I seen something posted. Apparently, Golden Tate, he did an interview with NBC Channel 4 and said that Matthew Stafford is the best quarterback he ever played with. Now, I can't remember who was that. I think maybe he was there when Tavares Jackson was a quarterback in Seattle. And then my timeline could be messed up. Then Russell Wilson was there. And then pretty much, Matt Flynn, he didn't never get a chance to start. They paid him all that money, Russell Wilson. But I'll talk about that at the end. That ain't the big story to me. You know what I'm saying? They try to glorify that as the big part. The big part of the story is this. And this is where I make my argument about Matthew Stafford at. He said maybe if he was with another organization, he would have more playoff wins. And he took a shot at the Lions organization. Took a shot at him. And we all know, a lot of people don't want to admit it, everybody want to be on the home team, that the Lions organization ain't always been, it ain't never been run right since the Ford took over. That's a lot of people's opinion. I second that. Mr. Ford was just too nice. But this is where I make my case out about Matthew Stafford. You can't say, as a Lion fan, you supposed to just ride with them good or bad. No matter, they ain't won a playoff game since 91. You got a ton of people out here that get mad at the truth. That's how you know it's the truth, because nobody's opinion should bother you that bad unless it has some truth to it. You feel what I'm saying? And people knock me, oh, you're a Stafford. I'm not a Stafford hater. I said it many, many times. I said if Stafford was in another organization, you probably wouldn't even be facing these questions. And sometimes you need a transcendent player at the quarterback position to really cover up all your some of your deficiencies. And I believe Aaron Rodgers did that for the Green Bay Packers. Without Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers, they ain't nearly as good. Not nearly as good. And he just a transcendent player. He just transcends, the bullshit. And I don't think Matthew Stafford is just talented as Aaron Rodgers is. It's from just a complete standpoint. He can throw the ball really good. He hard. He makes some great passes, but this organization has messed Matthew Stafford up. It messed up plenty of quarterbacks that probably have potential. Plenty of quarterbacks that they had good coaching and good personnel around them. You got to remember, the Lions ain't really drafted well. I'm going to do some more draft blasts before we get to camp. And as we go and review, I got a playlist for it to review the drafts. I did some last year. I did a few this year. And you just look at it overall, even 10 years from ago, those bad drafts at Millen and Mayhew Lewan, they all the same thing. Because Mayhew Lewan worked under Millen. Then they got a promotion that they went on 16 for people who don't know. All them, man. All them drafts messed the team up. And Stafford just don't have good enough talent. And sometimes you get good quarterbacks. Sometimes, I just say Rodgers is one of them. You know what I'm saying? Because, he really ain't had the greatest offensive line every year, or he had some really good ones, but he dealt with some injuries, ain't really never had the running game, had subpar defenses, had really good defenses that turn it over, but overall, he transcends the BS with the Packers. Real talk. And that's just coming from motherfucker keeping it real. But Matthew Stafford, even Ted Thompson drafted better than everybody for Lions when he was there. So, and we'll go, I just say maybe he was with an organization. I agree with the Golden Tate. Stafford won't be facing these questions if he was in Kansas City where Alex Smith was there, or he was in Houston while TJ Yates and TJ Yates and Matt Schaub and 21 Tom Savage was there. No doubt if he was in a different situation, come on, he would be a dominant quarterback. He'd have a few playoffs. He might have a Super Bowl appearance depending on where he at. It's just certain places that's just dark clouds in sports, and you just pray and you just hope, if you're that fan base, that they get out of that dark spot. But I definitely agree with Golden Tate. I do. The organization has messed up Matthew Stafford. It has, man, and a lot of people don't want to hear it. And that's why I'm one of the people that say they should have moved on from Stafford and let him go somewhere else. But you got guys that are in the perfect positions that still don't get the job done. You know, Matt Ryan. He got every imaginable weapon, had really good defenses, good running backs, outstanding receivers, you know, Hall of Fame, the best tight end I've ever seen in Tony Gonzalez. He had really solid defenses, and he still ain't get it done. You know, but they praise him, they give him MVPs, but he had the personnel, you know, he had the personnel around him. And that's just my argument about Matthew Stafford. He ain't transcendent enough to overcome the Lions organization. And maybe Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be good enough. Maybe Tom Brady wouldn't be good enough. Maybe Peyton Manning wouldn't be good enough. Maybe there's no quarterback that could have transcend the Lions bullshit and just been a superstar in this organization. But if you see it's not working for 10 years with a particular guy, you know, are you really, that's insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results. And that's my point. I think it'd be good for Stafford if they have moved on, and it'd been good for the organization to find that next guy and basically transcend. But the flip side of the coin, a lot of people in the NFL like what Bob Quinn is doing with the squad. So maybe they put that structure around him and he'd be good. But is he the best quarterback Golden Tate to play with? From Golden Tate perspective, yeah, because when he played in Seattle, playing with Russell Wilson, especially early on, for him, it was a run-dominant offense where he didn't get a lot of opportunities to really showcase his talent. And when he came out as a free agent, that's the year Sammy Watkins, Mike Evans, I think Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, all DeAndre Hopkins might have came out there. Y'all could be wrong. All those receivers was drafted, so there wasn't a big demand for, you know, a veteran free agent. You know, it wasn't no demand. So really, you know, he was just like, you know, when nobody really wanted him, and people didn't know how good he was. I knew how good Golden Tate was when he was at Notre Dame. I always thought he was better than Michael Floyd. People called me crazy, but you know, in Seattle, everything was either off the play action or it was off of Russell Wilson improvising. And when you off of improvising, you got to make yourself quarterback friendly, come back to the ball. He wasn't the timing. He really still ain't the greatest timing quarterback where I hit the 3-step, back foot, bam, the ball out of there. Or I hit the 5-step, bam, the ball out of there. Or 5 in the hitch, or 7-step drop, and the ball getting out there on time. You know, Stafford is a timing quarterback. He's a rhythm quarterback. And he going to find you when he need to find you in the offense. If you're running a deep dig, if you're running a shallow cross, if you're running just a regular crossing route, you're running a zig, you're running a post corner. Stafford is a guy that's punctual, you know. he gonna be where he need to be at all times and have that ball out. When Russell Wilson, you know, it's a crapshoot. And when you getting, you know, whatever 70, you know, maybe 70 targets or 50 targets, and it's an equal opportunity offense where basically it's Marshawn Lynch and Eric Doug Baldwin, Golden Tate, y'all get it how y'all live. He came to Detroit. He was the guy. He was the guy. And you know, Calvin Johnson went down. They played in London. I think that was his first year here. And Golden Tate stepped up. He showed Detroit, and Matthew Stafford gave him an opportunity to show that he was a number one receiver, you know, maybe in the slot and on outside in the Atlanta game in London. So from his perspective, his career really popped with Matthew Stafford. But he was always good. I wouldn't say Matthew Stafford made him. He was always good. I remember watching him in Notre Dame. He was overlooked because he was smaller and he wasn't that fast, twitchy receiver. But he was always good. Always. He was always good in my opinion. I thought he was always better than Michael Floyd, and proven to be true, be factual. But yeah, he had more opportunities in Detroit. But on the outside looking in, my personal opinion, Russell Wilson is a better quarterback. You know, he had everything in Seattle. First, it was the defense that was credited for him. Then it was the offense that was credited for him. You know, then Marshawn left and defenders left off, and he still kept him afloat. You know, I think Russell Wilson is a top 5 quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You know, I do, but he wasn't a top 5 quarterback and Golden Tate played with him. But I like Russell Wilson a lot. You know what I'm saying? He's a really good quarterback, and he ain't got the shit Matthew Stafford got, but they're a better organization. You know what I'm saying? They is. Not necessarily you put Russell in Detroit, maybe he pop, maybe he don't. You put Stafford in Seattle, maybe he pop, maybe he don't. You really never know, because Seattle don't have no motherfucking offensive line, and they be killing Russell Wilson. But like I said, man, I think it was telling about the organization. A quote, that's the quote I kind of took, and I agree. If Stafford was somewhere else, Stafford would probably have a playoff win or two, not barring injury. And I think he would. I think he would. You put him in Cincinnati. I'll just say it this way: you put him in Cincinnati, some of them teams that made it to the playoffs with Andy Dalton, Stafford would have won those games, in my opinion. But hey, it's Mercy Sports Talk. I link that article in the description. Let me know what you think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, or video request. Appreciate the love and support, man. One time for the one time. We gone.